Here we are, ladies and gents. And just to repeat myself, because it is rather important as we are slightly out of order with our games, this is the final series for Miguel. And on our fancy little stat sheet, it says that Miguel has a 0.1% chance of survival. But basically what he needs is he needs to sweep here and then hope that Margugu gets swept in his final 2 rounds. Miguel at 2 wins, Dracken at 3. These two are at the bottom of this group. But Dracken has this series and then one more series after this against Dogal. And Dracken is hoping to survive again here. Game 1 is Coast to Mountain, and it's actually been a bit. We've covered quite a few sets that haven't had Coast to Mountain, so it's good to see it again. And Persians Malians should be pretty close matchup, I think, Dave.
Yeah, and I was looking at the stats. Persians don't have a great win rate, I think, in Platinum League, and I think they're mostly used here. A couple people, I think Miguel using them in El Dorado too.
Yeah.
The last time we saw him play, so he likes the Persians here. Dracken going for the Malians, and the Malians should have a little bit of an advantage when we're talking about the water battle, even though the Persian docks are attacking faster. Malians are saving wood, which means should get the ships out faster and the archers and whatnot. But, I mean, I think these civs match up fairly evenly here.
Yeah, I mean, they both have a very flexible start for the fish. Miguel, concerned he's going to lose a villager here. And he doesn't. Sorry for the lack of faith in Miguel, but I think it's important to mention that he just hasn't been his peak this season. And that's been my concern. And back to the whole Persians thing. It's like Persians in El Dorado. No one else is doing it. Persians here. We're not seeing it as much. I think Miguel is just sticking with what he knows. And Persians has been around a long time. And he hasn't practiced as much. He's not as confident. So I at least will commend him for at least not trying to play something that he hasn't tested yet, and at least there will be some level of comfort in this. I feel, and I don't know how you feel, but I feel like the water is completely overrated in the mid game on this, and the double dock builds that people are doing to win water isn't as important as the land build, or potential land builds. And Dracken, every time he's played this, he's loved the water approach. So I'm curious to see if Miguel is going to try and take it to land here in some capacity, and if Dracken wants to go for 2 docks again.
I don't know. Every time I've seen someone actually add fish, they win the game.
Yeah.
The ones that I see losing are the ones that invest into water and then keep like 4 fishing ships.
Okay.
On there.
Yeah.
And it's not even an advantage, right? Like if you go up to 8 or 9 fish, then you're really, really starting to snowball, even if you're behind in villagers, right? But a lot of people invest, and then they're like, these fish are so far away. I'm just going to add 2 more.
Yeah,
and
they need to do more. They need to do more. Yeah.
Yeah. So I honestly don't really have an answer to your question because I just don't know.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of players don't know where that line is. Like, how many fish do you add? How much do you invest in the water? Is it enough to just simply kick your opponent off and not take it yourself? I
think part of it too is it just takes so much longer for potential benefit on land, whereas they have fish, and the fish is like right there. So you feel like there could be more immediate payoff, which is why people do it. And both players right now are doing pretty much the same thing here. Really fast uptimes, 18 pop.
Yep.
To go and kill fishing ships, Dracken on wood, and then Dracken on gold, and then Miguel also on wood, just hasn't taken his gold just yet. But wow, these are some crazy uptimes here. My goodness.
I mean, you can get away with it when you got multiple rhinos to bring in, right?
Yep.
You got your fish. I mean, Miguel's fish has been a lot better than Dracken's if you look at the efficiency on these ships, right? Like all-time efficiency on this, 90% on the ships from Miguel.
Yep.
And then we click on the ships from Dracken, all-time
70.
efficiency 65.
Yeah.
It's not good. Right? So it's a pretty good opening for Miguel, and you can see that reflected in the amount of food that he has in the bank right now. It's
okay,
pretty
so
solid.
I was so critical of Dracken when he played against Veleza 2 weeks ago because he was just scouting aimlessly with that camel, Dave. And he wasn't looking to confirm what his opponent was doing. He scouted Miguel's base, didn't see the barracks, but now he's checking the shoreline, and he just saw that the original dock villager is still on that shorefish, and he's not seeing another dock. Dracken should know that Miguel is actually going to try and go land here. This is really fast scout play for Miguel. And he should know to wall in his villagers from whatever is going to come eventually. And I love this adaptation. He's looking again now on the front. He's like, there must be something. It's just unfortunate that he's missed it.
Bye-bye. He was there, and now he's gone. So
Yeah.
he's going up that way. And, I mean, there could be a world in which Miguel has a dock in the south area that he hasn't scouted, but you're right. He will assume, because he saw that Vil, that Miguel is just going to go, pretty mild on the water production, and at the end of the day, it's only one fire galley, and Dracken will find the fish for Miguel right away. But Miguel is adding in the scouts, and Miguel had a lot of food in the bank, so he can afford to produce scouts and Vils for a while longer. And now he goes out to the hunt, and if you go scouts on this map, there's always going to be available villagers, whether it's from the TC to the woodline or a village taking the hunt, that you can get, as long as your micro is keeping up.
Yeah.
Because you got to dodge the spears.
And what I like about Miguel's approach, fun fact, by the way, he spent all of his gold on this fire and also on the demo that's in queue. So he will not have loom for a while here.
Oh, boy.
But, he's at least still able to compete on water and take out some of the fish. So he's killed 2 fishing ships with this. So all things considered, if you're going to lose 2 fishing ships yourself, killing 2 is quite nice.
Yeah. I like how he's just kind of like, screw it. I'm not getting limb.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just not investing into that. I'm not going out to gold. I'm not doing anything. It's either going to work or it's not.
Well, that has been, unfortunately, like Miguel's whole season. It's just like, this is my plan. If it doesn't work, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. And, Dracken could have known a long time ago that it was scouts. He never confirmed it. I think he sensed it, but he just never scouted it, Dave. And it's the same problem he had before, and Miguel should be able to kill the villager walling.
Oh, beautiful. Nice job.
Nice blocking, but also good damage control from Dracken, who is almost fully walled here. Just needs to wall the wood line and needs to wait for a spearman. But, yeah, I guess fishing ship should come out for Dracken now, but, dude, let me tell you. Because we cast this and we've got it down to a science. I played a game on this the other day and I was like, holy crap, this is so hard. The balance is going to be disastrous for Dracken. If there are scouts running around the map, he's not going to be able to take the hunt easily. All the new villagers from the TC that need to go to like wood aren't going to have a path to go.
Look at him on that straggler tree there with the low HP build. Oh, God, Miguel sees that. Get him. No, the other one. The dude. No, dude.
Well, there we go. The Miguel gets it anyways. Yeah, this is kind of the point, especially because the players with these water builds go for the straggler tree so early. So you actually don't have any close by to fall back on now.
I actually really like this no loom gaming from Miguel. If you know your opponent is like gonna commit onto water, right? They're not gonna have anything forward, and you have the scouts too. Just make sure that you remember to get it at some point. You're fine. As he finds another villager.
Miguel sees the rhino on the way. Dracken, what are you trying to do here, bro? Are you kidding me? That rhino's not gonna come in. Great awareness from Miguel, and now Miguel has actually killed 4 eco. Dracken's apparently lost 5. Did we miss Dracken?
Well, no, the rhino got the kill there.
Oh, it did. Okay, got it. That would make sense. I just happened to look at the stats right after that. But yeah, no loom gaming for Miguel, and there's no counterattack yet from Dracken.
He is going to make.
Oh God,
this is sick control from Miguel. Really, really nice stuff. And Dracken 5 fishing ships, so he has added some. That will compensate a little bit for the villagers he's lost, but obviously, it's more than the villagers. It's also the grief that Miguel has caused him, right? Like it's hard to focus when you're just constantly chasing scouts around your eco.
Yeah, look at the thought process. Miguel's making mills towards the middle now. There's just a constant stream of blue units coming forward. He is going to get loom now, which is good timing.
He's queuing up fire galleys, and there's just a constant stream of, like you said, the spearmen and the scouts coming forward, and that's villagers with food in their arms. Villagers that are exposed, and Miguel's going to kill some more. And Dracken, it's not looking convincing from him. It's looking pretty good from Miguel here.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is Dracken right now is in the relegation zone with Miguel. He has 1 more win than Miguel. But this is, in theory, his best opportunity of his remaining sets to get wins. And Miguel isn't finished on water yet either, Dave. He's actually come back on water with fire galleys. So the fishing ships that Dracken does have out there, he might end up losing. This is just domination from Miguel thus far.
really strong start to just go for one fire, one demo to open it up. Then you have the scouts to keep him busy. When he invests on land, you go back with the fires, and you're always going to have those because your dock will not be killed. Your Persians.
Yep.
He won't take out your dock.
Really sick. Oh, man. Dracken, he's going to fall back to his market to try and balance things out here, but the eco count is looking pretty abysmal as he does actually click up to the castle age. But
Miguel's going to be up soon, too.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal situation here for Dracken.
Remember we said
boy.
Miguel needs a 3-0. And then
and then he's gonna have to pray. He's really gonna have to pray.
Oh. But I mean, it's not that unheard of, like you mentioned. If Miguel does 3-0 this, which I think Dracken on Hideout's going to be really tough at the very least, right? And I think what we're seeing from Dracken now hurts, but he's only going to get better this series. But Margugu getting swept by ACCM and then by Dogao is possible. And that's what Miguel would need. So Miguel barely stayed alive in the previous 2 seasons and always opened up quite slow. So he's certainly looking much better today. This is the Miguel that you kind of expect, but in all honesty, I'm seeing confidence here that I think Miguel has because he looks at Dracken as someone who is a little bit below him in mixed map tournaments, maybe. Whereas
Miguel does have 2.5 minutes of LTC. So if we're talking about like execution things, that's a bit of a problem. But he is Persians.
Yeah.
So it's kind of made up for the fact, right? The faster TC production. As we see him losing this
close.
fire. Oh, damn. So close.
Okay, so second dock for Miguel. He's still going to keep an eye on water. Obviously still has the scouts out there. And Dracken...
Is this monasteries? Is this like double monastery?
I mean...
It's a siege.
I could see this being double monastery and siege push because Dracken knows he's down bad, and something Drakken's really good at, win or lose, is he understands whether he's at a civ disadvantage or a position disadvantage, and he plays from that position really well.
There they are.
Yeah.
Lightcap needs to come in right away for Miguel, and he needs to identify this. He's looking around. Dracken saw the scouts near his base, and they were kind of angling up north, so he might assume that they're hanging around there. And he might not be ready if they come back, but Miguel is looking north.
It's an interesting position for this because, like any all-in push, if you don't scout it, it's really hard to adapt to it once it shows up and hits you. And Miguel's just going to boom. I mean, the positive here for Miguel, obviously, is his TCs will have lots of HP. But I'm looking at his food eco now, and he doesn't have many farms. He's finished with some of the hunt. He's actually... Is he going to come get the rhino right next to the monastery?
All right. Here we go, Miggy. He did see the monastery foundation.
Oh, he did. Knows. Yeah, and now he sees pikemen.
So bring the scouts back, get the light cav upgrade, and start thinking about maybe something to stop these monasteries. I would actually... I mean, I'm a maniac, but... If you had the res, I would TC drop those 2 monasteries.
The crazy thing is, from what we can see, it actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, you know, I think it's also one of those things that you could start to do, and then we be saying why, so.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I could really see this working for Dracken.
Holy, 3rd monastery?
Oh,
dude,
as
Miguel
long
has
as,
not dealt with this.
Like, Miguel's going to try and kill Dracken at home, and it could easily fall apart for Dracken if he overchops, or lets the units in. Miguel, it's
She
through!
opened it up! Oh, she opened it up. There are pikemen in there, so he's going to run into issues, and the pikemen should be enough to, you know, clear this up, and that's not as good as we thought it was.
No, it's not. Maybe Dracken was happy with that, and Drakken's not dead yet. He's got 3 monasteries. He's got manganos on the way, and Miguel's eco balance is disastrous, Dave. He could have used those scouts at home. Oh,
Siege
man.
And the Siege Workshop is already up there from Dracken. Miguel is controlling the water, though, and he started to go for more fish.
And Miguel just GG's.
What, dude? No.
Oh, so it looked so good for Miguel.
Oh.
And then he wasn't able to have the follow-up, which has been the problem for him. And he didn't show a lot of fight. And he just gets rolled. And a comeback from Dracken. I mean, it was horrible and futile. But credit to Dracken. He just goes forward and says, I can make this happen with Monks and Siege. In all honesty, Dave, if those scouts would have just stayed home, I think some of these monks are too exposed and they go down. Miguel can maybe hold on a little bit longer and stabilize, but
I think he can still hold on from this position. Like it's
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
obviously ugly.
Yeah,
right?
it's
But
not- it's not great.
You have the water control. You've got some excess, wood. You can keep some fishing ships coming out. You can still apply some pressure in Drakken's eco. And if you ever get a good engagement against the monks, I mean, this forward position is going to look awkward. But it's very clear that Miguel just has like no confidence.
yeah,
right
no
now,
confidence,
and,
no drive. It's not the first
yeah.
time we've seen it, right? Like he GG'd pretty early in a couple other games where, again, it looked bad, but just not the fight you need here in the top 24. So
I would have loved the defensive TC drop there. that would have turned everything around for Miguel.
Well, I think that does now confirm that Miguel is relegated, which we expected anyways. But it's possible now Miguel could say, I'm taking you with me to Dracken.
Yeah.
I don't think anything would be set regardless because Drakken's got another series, but hopefully for Miguel, he can get some more wins on the board. Only 2, I don't think is too representative of his skills at least. And Res collected's higher for Dracken that game, Dave. Crazy, the wood and the gold. And obviously, you don't spend as much wood either. And it was quite easy for him to mass the monks there and drop the monasteries.
Was a crazy decision to come forward with those 2 monasteries with all those scouts there. Like that was kind of wild play from him, but
Yeah.
it worked out.
And here we are, friends. And for Miguel, it looked amazing at the start of the previous game. And then when things started to look rough, he just said, like so many times this season, yeah, this isn't for me. And he might have still lost that game, Dave, but I feel like Drakken's got to be feeling pretty good about life now because that was as bad a start as you could have to start off a series.
Yeah.
And now, at least in terms of live standings, he's actually tied with Margugu. So
Yeah, Margugu is watching Miguel going, "What are you doing?"
yeah, seriously, seriously. And yeah, because it really does feel like Dracken and Margugu fighting over that 4th place spot in this group right now. But, that's just because what we know of player reputations. If Dracken wins 2 more now, he then ends up on 6, and then he has the final series remaining. Miguel's gone for the Chinese, another civ that's been around a very long time, true to what we said about Miguel as a player. And it's all about having the clean start with the Chinese and usually a little bit of defense. So far, the start seems pretty clean for Miguel. There's been no questions there. And then Drakken's gone for the more common pick of the Lithuanians here because it's an open map where you can go for lots of scouts, but also because of the 11 relics on the map, which could be disgusting with the Lithuanians.
He only has 1 woodline in the back, Dracken. And it's a decent distance away.
Yeah.
So, oh my, pig just did a spin move, moonwalk into the TC.
You don't do that with your pigs?
I actually, when I need to change direction sometimes when I'm like walking, I will do a spin move.
A little spin move?
Yeah, just it catches people off guard. You can see them sometimes, and they're just looking at you like, "What?" It's great.
Oh, man. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the wood's a bit awkward for Dracken on the back. But the front, he's got quite a few nuggets there. And actually having the wood lines on the front could be kind of nice to wall between. But ultimately, that's kind of my concern with Dracken. I hope he doesn't try and wall too much because that's just not this map. Small walls are needed, but ultimately army control is what you need to aim to go for. And speaking of army control, how good was Leary earlier on this map?
So good.
Like,
I mean,
so
yeah,
clean.
It was disgusting. Every single game he was like that. I mean, I was getting frustrated at Sobek, not for the gameplay, but for the strategy choices, because Leary is just too good to be going for stuff like that. You know, meta, vanilla, stuff like that. Leary's always going to beat you. You might take 1 game out of 10 playing like that, but yeah.
Miguel forgot.
Dracken is here with the scout. Oh, that's a Lumenville. He should be fine.
Should be fine. And Miguel actually forgot where his board was for a second. That could have been really bad. Like, I think we can all relate to that, where you're like, I know it was over there somewhere, but then it just walked into the fog.
Or you could pull a Ganji on Spiral and not take your board until late feudal.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even realize that he didn't take his board until he brought it in. I don't know about you.
Well, no, I was looking at it the whole time because he didn't have enough. He went up like 20 villagers to
Went
feudal
up too
age.
fast, yeah.
And he didn't have enough food because he was trying to like make a trade with Andy over the cows and the sheep. He was playing a community game, dude.
I love though. I know that game was kind of disastrous for Ganji, but I've already respected Ganji quite a bit as a player. The fact that he said something though was just so funny.
I know, it's funny. And he tries to take the cow too. The one with 50 more food, right?
Yep. I'm sure whoever created that map really appreciated the fact that they put a cow and a sheep there instead of just 2 sheep. All right, so Dracken, last time we saw him on this map, he was Chinese, and he struggled big time. And he still almost won that game against Margugu. It's pretty ridiculous. But he's got his res here. He's got plenty of food, and he's going to go for a scout build. 2 forward wood lines is what he's chosen to take here. Miguel has the back wood lines, but all of Miguel's golds are more towards the front. So I guess it depends what you prefer there. I think it largely is just going to depend on execution. And I guess what I'd be thinking if I'm Dracken is, if things go wrong for me, I just have to make it messy against Miguel here, because Miguel knows he's relegated anyways, and clearly doesn't have a lot of fight. So I think like if Dracken falls behind at any point in the rest of the series, I think he's going to fight on way longer than he might normally and try and go for some crazy stuff.
Yep.
It's unfortunate that that's the situation, but I think it just has to be said at this point. Dracken hits feudal age faster. Miguel giving some hits to Dracken. And Miguel's going to build his barracks. He should be fine. And Dracken at home, dropping the stable. I like how he's gone between the wood lines here with his buildings.
Yep.
So let's see how Dracken performs here.
Well, you said no walls, right? Or you wouldn't like to see the walls, but I can definitely see where he's thinking of placing them in between the wood lines here. And a lot of players would do that, but he's still playing fairly open. Spearmen are going to be faster with Lithuanians. He's tracking and blocking the stable, and that's the last thing Miguel wants right now. And Miguel doesn't even, he's just like, screw it, whatever. I'll put it over here. You can do whatever you want over there. And he's going to add that down. His stable will be slower, however, than Drakken's, and he's going to lose his starting scout too. So it's not the greatest opening here for Miguel, but he still has the villager lead due to the Chinese.
Yeah, and as long as he maintains that and gets a few farms down, he's probably going to be fine. He spent the last minute just walling up all of his woodlines here, which is really smart thinking. And Dracken hasn't done that yet. So Dracken, the only real area Dracken could do damage would probably be on the berries. And even then, the berries is pretty close to the TC here. So Miguel loops back home, trying to save his scouts. He will save it, and Dracken actually loses one. So 1-1 on the KD. And Miguel is going to be fairly happy with how the last minute has gone. It hasn't been clean, but he just got to get going here with the Chinese.
Yeah, housed for a second there. He's going to have to make a few of them. Not the worst thing in the world, though. And the spearmen are in on the berries, which could be very annoying, especially since you're housed. But it's just within range of that TC, so Drakken's going to be super careful there, and Miguel is not going to really commit against them.
Okay, so Dracken has walled in one wood line with houses. That is the most arena player on Arabia-style map thing you'll see, by the way. It's not a bad thing to do until you need to get more villagers to wood later on, and then you got to delete a house, right? But Miguel goes to that wood line, doesn't know about the other one, as Drakken's still trying to pressure the berries. And now house walling here from Dracken, and
it's still open.
That is, still open.
The most arena player on Arabia moment right there for Dracken as he attempts the house walls, but then forages through the berries. And once again, Miguel finding himself with a couple early villager kills.
Absolutely.
He's got a pretty significant villager lead right now. It's 29-25 this stage of the game. Spearmen are still being annoying, but he's killing them with the TC. It's another good opening for Miguel.
Can he capitalize on it, right? Can he continue? I mean, the positive here is this is very different than Coast and Mountain. It's not really a map where you can market abuse much on. It's, again, it feels like Army's just going to get a little bit more value. Dracken can't be quite as sneaky. And then, of course, it's Chinese, where you've got 15 farms that are going to last you for a very long time. So Dracken needs to switch it up. Drakken's going to go to gold. And he's going to drop a range, which makes sense considering that Miguel has 5 spearmen right now.
Yep.
So I could surprise Miguel. And honestly, I think peak Miguel scouts that, senses that. But Miguel right now could easily get surprised by a couple spearmen and archers.
Yeah, and if you add the range, it generally indicates you're going to be in feudal age a little bit longer, but there's also the chance of overwhelming your opponent, right? If you're going full scout war, you're trading off your scouts with his scouts, and then suddenly you show up with archers and the spearmen are completely useless. And then you're sniping down vills.
Yep. Now Miguel does see the ranges up. He doesn't know where the gold position is right now for Dracken. Miguel going to get Town Watch, which is not because he got housed. It's just smart play here, just so he doesn't get surprised by anything.
There's the range for Miguel.
I still think there's some level of confusion for Miguel right now, because he's still not seeing the gold.
Well, I mean, he sees the range. You have to know. You see the range there, right?
Yeah.
You've gone going scouts, like, maybe adds in a couple skirmishers, but he's definitely adding an archers behind.
Yeah, I guess, like, the concern is you don't know how long he's had the range. And there might be a couple archers on the way to your base right now. But we know there's not. Dracken looped over to the wood line for Miguel. Miguel has wisely re-walled it all. Meanwhile, Miguel's scouts are alive in the back of Drakken's base, but getting hit.
Ugh.
A little sloppy there.
He's bleeding off of the map. Where does the blood go?
Did you ever see, like, the grass go off the map?
Did you know that if a projectile is shot towards the map and it misses its initial target, like with siege onagers and stuff, it'll bounce off the edge and come back onto the field of play?
I've seen the bouncing, but I never knew the logic behind it. Like, I've seen Bombard Tower balls bounce.
Yeah.
That's a tongue twister.
But, like, not off the ground, like off the edge of the map.
Yeah, I don't know if I've
seen that. It's like a solid black wall. Yeah. If you attack around near the edge of the map with a siege onager, the extra projectiles will bounce off and come back in.
Well, I'll have to try that next time. This army from Dracken, yet again, Dave, it's just like he just bounces back. He's got fletching in for archers. Miguel does not have that. He's got as many scouts as Miguel, but he has bloodlines.
Miguel needs a tower, right? He simply needs a tower.
That or you just back away for a bit and hope that your numbers can overwhelm.
I feel like if you back away, you're never coming back, though.
Yeah, that's true. It's a very good point.
Thing. Like if you back away, ooh, the scouts have been separated, though, from the spearmen. Miguel is finding a surround on the archers, and he's actually getting a pretty good engagement here against Dracken, so he managed to clear it up without a tower.
Ooh.
Nice job. Unexpected amount of scouts garrison that stable. Dracken did not see that coming, and Miguel is safe. Well done.
He did have forging, right? The forging upgrade really helped him there. And Miguel just had enough. Miguel now thinking about going up to the Castle Age. And Drakken's going to produce more scouts. So it's going to be a bit of a full feudal here versus Castle Age. You don't see this all the time on graveyards. At least this season, it feels like players will just make some army. Then they'll head up towards the next age. And it'll be nice and comfortable there. But, well, not comfortable, but, more of a standard approach, I guess. And there's an overchop here on this woodline for Dracken, but Drakken's army is really strong right now.
Yeah, you can't go in there. It's actually better Miguel didn't see that on the first pass because I think you would have been trapped in there. There's no overchop this time around, and the spearmen are still chasing, and oh boy.
And this is where the potential is, right? You have superior scout numbers, and you have superior archer numbers if you're Dracken. Actually doesn't have superior archer numbers, but it's close.
He's not being aggressive enough, it feels like. Miguel is already on the way to Castle Age, right? And he's got double range now. He's got his archers with his scouts. And that's not a fight you can take. And Drakken's going to push forward, but Miguel, it seems like he's in a decent position to defend.
They could. Micro will matter a lot here. Dracken, he will probably use the market to click up to Castle Age behind this. I think if Dracken can kill like 4 or 5 vills, being later to Castle Age is okay. Oh, God. Miguel scouts. He doesn't know where to be right now with them.
Yep.
And he's been
Armor's
caught out
coming in
here.
for his scouts, though. I don't know why the scouts were at the very back of his base.
I think he was paranoid because he didn't know where Dracken would be coming in from. And the double mining camp on gold, the new stable, everything needs to be abandoned. And when wins are so important for Dracken right now, he's got a nice position against Miguel. He hasn't killed Miguel, but Miguel won't really be able to stop this yet.
I think I'd actually favor Miguel in this position, man. Look at his castle age time. He's going to get up with his army intact, with res in the bank.
Yeah, I guess that's the key, right?
Yeah,
as long as he doesn't take a bad fight with army, he's going to have a knight or two here.
Yep.
It's kind of okay. And also, I think we're seeing Dracken just not be quite as comfortable with feudal age fights here. Because I think a lot of other players would have had a bit more of a clinical approach to this. And the archers get cleared up. Miguel's completely fine. Miguel drops TC number 2, and now it's danger time for Lithuanians. Because you haven't killed a lot of the Chinese eco.
Yep.
And those farms are going to continue to bring in lots of food, and the options are always there for the Chinese to counter.
Miguel has a spearman back there. It's going to die, but the house wall comes in, and the knight can chase away those scouts. And now the scouts and knights are coming back across the field for Miguel. He doesn't have that many crossbows, but right now it kind of feels like enough against that wood line because it's still 25 seconds until Dracken can start producing knights. And he's going to have to abandon all these positions. Miguel will get that second TC up, and I'd like to see Miguel... Do you get the light cav upgrade here to snipe the monks that you know are coming from Lithuanians? Or do you just continue with crossbow knight? He's found opportunities on the
Yeah, I mean,
here.
if you get in, you just fight it, right? You just fight it, say screw the upgrade, get as many kills as you can, and Dracken had the numbers advantage in feudal. He wasn't really able to make the most of it, and now Miguel's on 2 TCs. He's in on the gold. Dracken's got 7 knights in queue.
Oh, God. Yep.
From 3
They're
stables.
not out yet, though. And they're not helping yet because all the villagers are going down on this gold. Miguel finds himself some really nice damage here.
And now we have 46 villagers for Miguel. It's 34 for Dracken, but Dracken's going to have a whole bunch of knights. So, just like the previous game, I feel like Dracken has an all-in in him here. Miguel, though, I get making knights for offensive purposes. I'd really like to see him shift to monks and camels in defense, just to stabilize and hold. Because if the game continues, his eco will definitely win him the match at this point.
And he's going to find maybe damage on the right wood line.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah, there's 5 villagers there. They're working away on the trees. Is there going to be an overchop? Doesn't look like it. He'll just retreat from there. But here come the knights, and you know, Miguel, I'm just hoping for some fight here.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely, I'm with you. Because he sent his knights forward to get more damage in, and now he's exposed at home. He does garrison right away. He is going to make some camels. He does have a monk that's out now. Could get a conversion. Oh, but it's not happening, and he's going to lose the monk, which is really bad. And Dracken getting a decent amount of kills. Can he go further, though? I mean, there's still town centers. He's going to have to leave. And his wood situation, Dave, is horrible. Not only is it 5 on wood, but I don't even know if you can consider that a wood line anymore.
No, it's a chin strap.
Yeah.
Wood line, basically. He's got the wood line in the back there. I don't even know if he sees it. He does, but it's so far away.
But, you know, again, like the previous game, Dracken recognizes I am now behind, so I need to go all in. Eco upgrades, not something you can be critical of at this point. It's just numbers and fights. And it's going to be tough to find good fights. Like, Miguel still has 2 TCs to produce villagers out of, and Miguel has camels with bonus damage.
And Dracken sold his stone earlier, so it's not even like he can go secure a woodline with a TC or anything, right?
Yeah, and you kind of need your monks to be pushing with your army now, or healing your army, instead of going to get relics too. That's kind of the complicated thing is... I do like this from Miguel. Like, obviously, I think that a little bit more of defense in the prior moment would have been nice, but the fact he continues to still counterattack when he has the lead is really nice. On the straggler trees. Why have we seen that so many times in this series? Miguel using Cav to attack straggler tree builds. This is so weird. Alright, so do you, like, go on stone here if you're Dracken and hope for a forward castle too?
No, I think you're trying to bring in the relics, get your knights up to as much attack as they can.
Yeah.
And then just overwhelm. I mean, it's also, you know, it's not just playing the game. You got to play the player as well.
Yep.
And if Miguel loses a big fight with the way he's been playing in Titans League and the early GG last game, you could easily overwhelm him and Miguel still be in a winning position, but you win the game.
100%. 100%. Yep. Yep, just snowball the engagement.
Yeah, I think that should be the plan, but Miguel is a good defense here. Like, he has not cut production at all, and he's got the camels and 3 monks. If he gets 3 conversions, this fight is not happening.
No, and he gets all 3 conversions, and
Sick.
That's horrible. Yeah, that's horrible. And some of these knights that are remaining are weak. And of course, those monks for Miguel can get future
Here they
conversions.
come back onto the farms. Knights at the back. Here they come. Villager number 5, I think, dying on these farms. You can tell from the positions of the farms here. They're just struggling. And Dracken is now on that gold at the back of the Knights go down there. Damn, dude.
Yeah, honestly, I think what Dracken needed more than 3 stables is he needed at least 1 extra monastery here. Right? Because the monks are actually going to swing the fights the most. He's going to drop
the Knights
another
have found
one.
the gold.
Oh, God.
Night.
Night. Yep.
Night.
If Miguel notices.
Stay ground! Okay, there we go. Bye-bye. See ya, Dracken.
But any other player,
right up.
Dracken might even GG now, right? But I think because of all the things that we said, Dracken's got maybe 1 more fight, and Miguel's going to bring it to him. This is not going to be good enough.
Converts back all of the knights that Dracken converted in the beginning.
I mean,
yeah, the camels are going to rip through that stuff. The knights are still killing over on the other side.
And I think Miguel's going to get the win here. And he does get the win. Score now 1-1. And a nice bounce back game there from Miguel. Again, show how good he is on these types of maps. And didn't really have to have much fight in this one because he took a slight lead. And then he held it. Well played.
I like the early pushes from Dracken and Fuel Age were great, but the defense was also good for Miguel.
Yeah.
Very calm, right? He didn't overcommit to anything. And I think the key was just those 3 knights running around at the back. Dracken just never dealt with those. Lost so much eco against them, even after that initial massacre on his gold. And Miguel also keeping up production was really, really fantastic.
There was a point there where the reason Miguel was faster to Castle Age is because he had underproduced slightly compared to Dracken and the upgrades as well. And I feel like in that moment, when Dracken showed up to the gold, he needed to kill more. And if he wasn't going to find kills there because Miguel just left the gold, the wood line wasn't that far away. I think he just didn't make Miguel work hard enough in that moment. It didn't punish Miguel there.
Well, he didn't have enough spearmen. I think he only had 2 spearmen forward with his archers.
Yeah.
He sat them next to the mining camp, and then he split from his archers with his scouts. And Miguel ungarrisoned the scouts, and he got a full surround in the archers. And once the archers are dead, you just produce spearmen if you're Miguel, and you're fine.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the later moment, Dracken tried with the follow-up, but Miguel gets the win. Miguel now at 3 wins. We know he's probably still out. Dracken, he sits at 4, which is tied with Margugu, but Margugu will have 2 more sets. So Dracken really needs to win this next one. And it will be on his home map, which is the positive for him. So I looked at the draft earlier with the map being Hideout, and I saw Khmer, and I was like, 2020 meta? Back again for Miguel. Like, he goes Persians because he's used to it. He goes Chinese because he's used to it. And I'm going to assume it's going to be Khmer instead of Romans or Franks.
It's Khmer.
Yeah, has to be. And then, oh God, there's so many options.
Portuguese.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, pick your poison if you're Dracken.
And the worst thing is that they're super far away too, so Miguel can't even do anything. Anyway, I'm 2 seconds in.
Okay, sounds good. Here we are in what will be the final game of this series, and then the final game of TTL Platinum for Miguel, who has 3 wins. We believe he is confirmed to be relegated at this point, but again, maybe he will be able to affect Drakken's future here. And also, of course, gain an extra $40 if he ends up surprising Dracken. But this is Drakken's home map. He beat ACCM on Hideout. He probably practiced, I mean, he doesn't need to practice Hideout, but he probably expected Hideout to be the map that would make it or break it for him. And it is Portuguese versus the Khmer. Portuguese, very solid these days. More of a common pick. And then Khmer, I think really strong, but more along the lines of what people did like 3 or 4 years ago. So we shall see.
It's an interesting map generation in the north there for Miguel, isn't it? Like the wood lines there. It's so weird.
Yeah.
For it to be right near your base. It's such an easy wall off for him. Just focus on the other side. But I don't think Drakken's going to make anything easy for Miguel with Portuguese here.
No.
I think the last set Was it the last set? No, it was Daniel against someone where Daniel picked Portuguese, and I can't remember. He was up against Malay, but I can't remember what player he was playing against. Running. That was it.
True. And then we also saw Portuguese for Viper at one point on Hideout.
Yeah, and I think Dracken picked them too.
Oh, yeah, he did it against
seen
Veleza.
them a couple times.
Yeah, he did it against Veleza. So the reason the Kimura is strong is due to due to not needing your buildings to unlock the next age or the next building. And the build that you could still do with the Kimura, which I still think is really good, is 23 population fast castle. On the back of that, you can go scouts and only scouts for a bit, or you can go for the second TC and pretty much only the second TC.
Die to castle drop doing that though.
Exactly, I know, and so
Like,
that's why I'm scared. Like, it feels like if Miguel is picked Kimura, he has to go for the second TC, and Dracken already did a castle drop against Veleza, and I mean, it didn't work, but Veleza had a good monk civ, which Kimura's not. So I'm like, it hasn't been the best of seasons for Miguel. I feel like this is a really good position for Dracken to be in. But, I mean, I guess it comes down to how much Miguel knows, right? And if you can go 23 pop fast castle into some scouts first, you could at least force Dracken to place the castle further back, like at home.
Yep.
And there's a pretty large distance between the players, so it's pretty risky. If it is a map that you think you should win, I think you could argue that going forward castle is actually too risky if you could just take it late game and feel really comfortable too.
Maybe. What if you go FC castle drop yourself and you go along the side that you know Dracken's not coming from?
Yep.
You go north, drop a castle there. Okay. You let him drop a castle in the front side of your base, make a ballista elephant, cut a path through
to the wood line.
Yes.
I
don't
mean,
have anything from that point, but that's the basis of the plan, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if this was 600 elo, I would be all for it. I feel like there's many weaknesses to that idea that we would have to break down, but now I think like another thing that could be rough for Miguel is the gold position too.
Yeah.
That's so nasty.
But he's got two on the sides. Maybe that would work. Okay, so what if you defend yourself with a castle as Kimura?
Okay.
You cut through the middle area.
Yep.
You send 6 petards, and when Dracken is on the way up to Imp, because he's inevitably going to go Imp to tread down your castle, you kill his Imp TC.
I mean, you could just use 5 petards. You don't even need 6.
Yeah, but the 6 is a
just in case. A just in case petard. Yeah, I get that. I mean, all things I would consider epic. Would then be hilarious because if, like, let's say Dracken still somehow makes it to Imp, Dracken loses his entire base, and then he's got like Trebs and 6 organs on the front. 22 pop for Miguel.
You can do.
Yeah.
22 pop. Okay, here we go.
I mean, with all the what ifs, I think it's fair to say we know Miguel's out. Game is really important for Dracken, but like we want a ridiculous game here, right? Like we want a game that is going to give us something unique. And with Dracken being on stone right now, I can tell you we're going to get that. But
it just seems like such against a player of Dracken's caliber on these type of maps that is going to go for that castle, regardless of whether it's forward or defensive. He's going to have organ guns. It seems like such a tough situation to work yourself out of with Kimura. We're trying to like come up with anything that Miguel can do.
But I feel like the castle drop should be predictable enough where Dracken might mind game himself and be scared to walk forward because he's expecting scouts or even like an archer play or something.
Yep.
So it is quite risky. Like I would be really torn right now from Dracken because organ guns are strong. So you could still have faith with the first castle being at home, and then you take map control, and then you make the next castle forward. That could still feel like a good play for you. I think with this uptime, it's going to be all in, and he's never going to add eco, though. So that, considering the fact he's got Loom in Q, Dave, tells me Dracken will absolutely go forward with this castle.
21 villager up with 3 seconds of idle TC time.
Dang.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I mean, you are Kimura, and you'll see people in chat going like, "Oh yeah, you should be able to do that. It's super easy. Go load up the game.
Well,
go load up the game and try and do that. You're probably gonna have like 20 seconds of idle time.
Well, the problem
feed to
is,
come in.
for the majority of players, there's going to be a whole lot of what now when you make it to Castle Age, right? So it gets really tricky. Like, he's got horse collar in for the new farms, which is nice. He's getting his wood upgrade, but he's barely going to be able to afford to produce out of 2 TCs when he gets there. But I'm assuming that's the play. He could still add a stable. There's Dracken Scout. And does Dracken Scout see the gold? Oh, I think he won't be able to see the gold, actually, regardless of even if he moved to the left.
You don't know.
Yeah, he's got no clue.
Castle Age on the way for him now, about 2 minutes behind. But Portuguese are Portuguese, right? So he can go up 22 plus 2 and then have enough stone to drop a castle.
This is smart
which is
from Dracken.
wild.
So
He's adding the
Dracken
barracks.
he's worried there could be scouts, so he's going to just bring a spearman or 2, which is perfect. And then that means he will definitely bring villagers forward. And Miguel is going to leave his base, kind of, and make a TC on the back, which is much better than TCing the gold. In fact, he's not even going to be taking gold for now.
Here it comes. It's on the stone. Castle, Ballista Elephant Cut.
Maybe, dude. I mean, I'm not ruling it out. I think Miguel
and
Miguel
when
would
he
know.
finds these villagers, does Dracken just like hard commit with this? I guess he has spearmen following up.
Yeah,
but
you
Miguel
got
at least
spears.
will have advance warning that the castle is not going defensive just for organ gun production. The castle is going to be aggressive, and he checks to see if he has loom. Dracken does have loom. Miguel will retreat from that, and I just wonder, what is the solution to this? Dracken will see the second TC from Miguel on the stone.
Yeah, and like if you look at the golds, dude, like, okay, can't take your main gold. You think about the follow-ups. The follow-ups are really close to this pressure. Like, it's not like he has any safe golds in the north to go to, not even any neutral golds. So this could be rough. Dracken, if you're committing to this, you just place that castle as boldly as you like, my friend. Actually, wait, he doesn't know where the main gold is, Dave. So he's not going to place it on the wall.
He's going to put it on the hill.
He's going to put it near
on
the other area, yeah.
Gold in the stone? Yeah.
He should place it on the wall, though. Do you agree? Yeah. Like, don't mess around with the placement of it.
Yeah. That's perfect. At least Miguel has TC'd another stone, though, so he has other options, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think Miguel is building up towards a defensive castle against whatever Dracken does here. The thing of concern here for Miguel, and I'm very confident in this statement because I saw the exact same scenario play out with Lan against Ganji in another group, is I don't think Miguel knows that current organ guns die pretty badly to mangonels.
Yep.
Like, 6 months ago, and, for years, organ guns
And they
would
don't do
shred
the same
siege.
damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't do the same damage. I mean, you can still kill them, but you're probably going to lose a couple organ guns in the process.
Yeah.
He is adding a stable here.
Okay. And maybe for more scouts. He's still chasing down Drakken's scout. Okay, Dracken will be up against Dogao in his final round, and Dogao's going to be licking his lips there. Like, Dogao's going to want wins, and Dogao could easily 3-0. If Dracken wants to survive...
he's going to want revenge for Miguel, too.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So,
If
Drakken's
Miguel
best
loses.
chance at surviving is getting this win right here. This is going to be the easiest, game available from his remaining games here in TTL. This is huge for him.
Miguel almost has enough stone for a castle, but unfortunately for him, that's his only gold remaining, and Dracken has just found it.
Yeah, Drakken's just seen
And
it. Oh, God.
He doesn't have the stone yet. If he could get a castle up on that stone as Miguel now goes for a siege workshop, then maybe this could work out.
I think Miguel might run over to Drakken's side and just castle drop his walls. Like, it's the only thing that makes
The scouts
sense.
are coming. The scouts are going over there.
Okay, Miguel's really badly housed at the moment, and while he does have the eco lead, these organ guns are really starting to chip away at villagers. And
Still no Mangonel in the queue. The scouts have made their way over to the other base, but still no castle. We got 800. He's going, Tristan. He's doing it.
let's go!
This is what I called the very first call of this game.
All right, but You know what's kind of funny is you could skip all these steps as the Khmer. You don't have a market right now to like sell some stuff quickly to get gold. So that actually really hurts. And he's going to drop the market next to the TC just so he can sell
has
some
enough
things.
for like 2 castles. He can make one forward and then another one. I like this.
Wait. Okay, what's important is when does Dracken drop his next castle? Because Drakken's thinking, I am about to have the stone.
Yeah.
So he will spend his stone on a forward castle.
He's dropping it forward.
Which means he won't have a defensive castle. Oh, man.
He's doing it. Oh, my God. He's doing it. And Miguel still has the villager lead here. And the thing is, if Miguel drops his castle at Drakken's base, he suddenly has gold access. That gold underneath the castle.
What's funny is if Miguel had a safe gold, he would never do this. But this play is actually going to give Miguel his best chance. Because both players are going to have horrible times defending this. It's just a matter of who kills the other one faster. I think I would prefer to have organ guns over... like whatever Miguel's
about
gonna
to
have.
Pop, and these organs are stacking quite well for Mangonel's shot. It's only gonna get
good micro there from Dracken though.
Yeah.
Wow, that was really good. And the castle for Dracken will shoot down Miguel's starting TC.
He just noticed.
It denies a bunch of farms as well.
Dracken just noticed. He goes for stone walls behind this. You know, if you make these stone walls, though, there's still palisades on the right side of that stone wall that you're making. So, like, I mean, it's only so much damage control, you know?
All right, so food eco is abysmal for both. Miguel's going to get golds. Good stonewalling from Dracken. Like, he has to do something. Even the scouts could be rough for him.
Dude, this base layout for Miguel, the way the wood line's formed is so nice. Like, you can go back to that stone over there. Scouts are through, and they're killing villagers.
Yeah, this is awkward right now for Dracken. But, I mean, Miguel's dropping a defensive castle. Dracken tries to quick wall. Miguel's bringing even more scouts through here. He won't have the food to make many more. Dracken really needs something, like even a spearman here.
Ballista elephant. Shift click all the way through to the wood line.
Yeah, just go right through
from this
tree.
defensive castle.
Dude, these scouts getting through have brought some insane value here for Miguel.
Huge value. Yep.
He really needed to get some kills because his eco is not efficient at home, and his siege workshop's gone down. Like, God, Miguel's idle time's ridiculous here.
But he still had 2 TCs producing, right? So it's like 54 villagers versus 40. He still has the mangonel at the back, so Dracken has to be careful about that. The TC is being attacked, but it's not the same damage organ guns used to do.
Yeah.
And the scouts do leave the base, but the wall is now up from Dracken, and there's the ballista elephant right there.
Yeah, I mean, it costs food, so that's actually the most expensive unit that Miguel has made. And again, this is so important for Dracken. Miguel, he's already out. But again, does Miguel know that mangonels are really good against these organs? Let's see. Let's see how scared he is. I don't think even half our viewers realize how bad organs are against this. Watch how little damage they do.
Boy,
It's awful
like
now.
Nothing.
Yeah,
That's
it's
crazy.
awful.
Takes out 2. Just repair. Just repair. Just repair.
Like, you just can't kill siege with organs. They've completely ruined that capability for them. And
Hero Mangonel. Oh my god, it's still alive.
And the organs are just splitting. And you just got to back away here. You need to go for your own siege, or you need to go for monks. Miguel knows now if he didn't know before, Dave.
He's in with the ballista elephant, by the way. My man is chopping.
And he still could keep going right to the wood line. Well, there are some organ guns coming home. Look at all the organs that went down for Dracken on the front. Those things aren't cheap, Dave.
And Drakken's like, what is happening right now? Miguel has 3 TCs. That middle one, production is he does have one to the north, which is pretty safe. And he's got some wood to maybe set up farm eco wherever he wants. He can keep producing the villas, and he's going for a siege workshop at the front there, too.
Ooh.
Almost has enough stone for another castle if he wants to go for that approach.
Yeah, both do, actually, which is kind of funny. I mean, Dracken doesn't know that Miguel has that other castle next to the starting gold, which is a pretty big deal because I think he's going to try and shift that direction next. And
he doesn't know that's there? What?
Yeah. So him not knowing that kind of means it could affect his judgment on where he needs to position himself. But he does see the villagers from Miguel on his golds. And the organ guns now... Well, I was going to say they could defend it, but now Miguel's making another Mangonel.
He's running right into the castle with the organ guns.
Another
This
castle,
is one,
though.
and he goes for the other castle on that side. Sends in a knight, which could be really good against that.
That's
Mangonel,
actually
but of course
amazing.
the castle is
Yeah.
there.
That's a really nice addition. And the organs that Dracken had on the other side have gone down. So 50 eco versus 58. It's about to be 6 castles, I think.
27 minutes into the game, or 28 minutes. That's kind of wild.
Oh, and the knights pay off, Dave. So now Miguel doesn't have a Mangonel around his wood line.
But the Bliss Elephant's in. Oh, God. Run!
What is this game? This is so much crazier than we thought possible. And pretty soon, Drakken's not going to be able to take any of the golds at his own base because of all this.
Bliss Elephant taking out 2 villagers. Villagers coming in to repair. Good attack rounds here from Miguel, and he gets the defensive castle up. And Dracken can't really push past this. The way the map is set up is so nice for Miguel on this side, but it is unfortunate there's no golds up in that top area. So he definitely needs to hold the gold in Drakken's base, and he's pushing in. Pushing in, and Drakken's just evacuating.
Dracken needs the knights here. The knights that Dracken has right now on the front need to come home to clear this, actually. And okay, there is a knight now. He made a stable at home. And now all of Miguel's siege could go down, but Miguel's adding a monk.
From Miguel. Yep.
Monk is really
enough
important.
to save this Mangonel. It should be. It actually should be. And Dracken can't give him that knight. Cannot give him that knight.
Where is Dracken supposed to push right now?
I don't know.
This is insane.
He's got 17 organ guns, but against castles, they can't really do anything. There's no targets here for him to hit.
I mean, it's kind of gotten to a point, especially if Miguel walls the choke, where, yeah, Dracken can't do anything.
Monk got killed.
Monk
Great job from Dracken.
Dracken needs imp right now, is what he needs. He needs to somehow go imp, but he's got 4 on food, so it would have to be market.
That's be some severe market usage right there. My man has 3. My man has more on food than he has food in the bank. Okay, there we go.
You know what? Is he selling? Yeah, he's going to sell some wood, buy some food. Rams might actually not be a bad play for Dracken either. He already has wood and gold. A bunch of rams to take out the castle that Miguel has on the right. Or I guess like...
look at these organs.
In his
looking
starting
for an
base.
Opportunity. Dracken's like, surely I can get through over...
Oh, true. Yeah, seriously. So he would have to take his organs all the way home. And Miguel is just this like cute little farming nook in the north where he could just freely farm. And in a messy game, obviously, it's fantastic being the Khmer and dropping plenty of farms.
Look at the food eco from him.
Flying.
32 farms just up there.
Yep.
And then he's got some in his base too. And it's going to start to get really out of control here for Dracken if Miguel starts spamming out light cav. I mean, the ballista elephants mean that you can't rely on any of these wood lines if you're Dracken as walls, right? You can just cut right through.
It's funny. As Dracken types advance to the Imperial Age,
but he put a
he capitalized. He did it all wrong. Not to mention, it doesn't work anymore. And Miguel dots him because I think Miguel realized he's full of crap.
I love that from Dracken though. The way Miguel has been like, not as motivated and not fighting as hard in a lot of these sets. That is a really, really nice attempt from Dracken to try something like that.
In the past, guys, the chat message made the same sound as the bloop of getting to the next age. It was the exact same sound. So, it used to be easier to fake that. These days, there's a different sound. And yeah, Dracken, this win's important to him, right? As he comes home with the organ guns. But the fake Imperial Age does not work.
It's backfired so hard, though, because if you're going to do that, that means you're nowhere close.
That's true, right? Like, if you say that, you haven't clicked up at all. Yeah.
Miguel's like, okay.
Dave, I think Miguel should ballista cut through to the wood line now with the starting castle.
He's got one in the defensive castle as well. I mean, like he could go from both sides here, and he's just getting all of his upgrades for his light cap. Look at his resources,
yeah,
man.
Seriously. Yeah, he's like, no gold, no problem. I'll take your gold. I'll just spam light cap. I'm just waiting to see where the light cap will hit, but like, organ guns are pretty good against light cap.
Yeah.
But
until you get the armor upgrades, and then they're not very good at all.
Yeah. Also, shout out to the villagers that continue to go to the farms in Miguel's base underneath the castle. I don't know how many villagers have died there, but Just saw 2 more die. And look at Dracken use the market. And he clicks up to Imp with the TC that he built in the south. He is on the way.
Okay.
Yeah, someone with a point. Someone said Miguel might get fired up by that, right? Like, we're talking about Miguel not having motivation. That might fire him up if someone tries to chat trick him.
I mean, we did not have much faith in Miguel here at all coming into this game, but he has done a fantastic job stopping this. We just want to see him close it out. The MTC is the forward one from Dracken. So no threat there.
Yeah.
And Miguel is finally has some army numbers on the field. It's taken him a lot longer than I thought.
He's producing from really far away right now. Like, he really should have made the stables next to his castle at Dracken's base. But the units are mobile. The units do make it. And Dracken's pretty much just going Imperial Age for trebuchets from those forward castles. And those forward castles, if they make trebs, can take out all of Miguel's castles.
You gotta cut through this middle wood line, bro. You got the
ballista.
The ballista there.
Yeah. I mean, main TC for Dracken will go down. It's good that Dracken chose the other town center in the south to go Imp with. Miguel's got 30 villager lead. Like you said, it took a long time for this to really get going here for Miguel, but he too could Imp soon. I mean, he's got tons of units in the queue right now. He's going to find plenty of kills on vills too. If the TC goes down, Dracken loses like 15 vills. Yeah.
No, he loses his entire thing. Like, Miguel should not stop trying to attack this wood line.
Yeah.
If Dracken loses that wood line, even if he kills both defensive castles for Miguel, he can just rat it out with Khmer and farm everywhere and produce light cav, and it won't be much of an issue to keep this game rolling. Imperial Age comes in for Dracken. That's the actual Imperial Age.
With the lowercase a in advanced.
Yeah.
And Dracken continues to blow up our screen with market as he's selling wood and trying to buy stone for, I don't know, maybe a Fatoria, which he's now made in the south. And Dracken
Miguel
needs
sees that.
Yeah, like he needs a couple Fatorias and some time, I think.
Double Fatoria! He's trying to quick wall with a Fatoria.
If someone would have predicted Fatorias in the south of the map, I would have been like, what happened?
Yeah.
How would that ever happen?
Imperial Age on the way for Miguel now. And that's in a fairly safe TC. Don't think that one's going down. However, he's not going for the wood line here, Tristan.
Yeah,
Miguel is pushing out towards those Fatorias. You got to take out this wood line or cut through from the other side with the Bliss Elephant. Get in there somehow. He's seen the Fatoria and he's like, that is my target.
Yeah. The thing is, though, that if Dracken makes trebs, he has nothing to defend the trebs from knights, even underneath castles. So he really needs to make sure he walls them in. Eco flying for Miguel. He hasn't really
needs
used
the second armor upgrade too on those knights.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, for now, TCs just have fletching, and there's no pikes or anything, and he's clearing things up. And he's going to see the wood line now, and Drakken's going to evacuate. Oh!
Everybody out! Everybody out!
Oh, God.
Here's the Mangonel. Sit in front of these villagers, just attack
around right in the choke.
Oh, God.
I don't know if Miguel sees this. I think he's just noticed it. He's also microing his knights elsewhere. I mean, the barracks that Drakken's trying to build in the south, not happening. We've got rams from Miguel on some of the castles from Dracken. Dracken can't stop that. And I think in kind of a must-win game for Dracken, he's just not going to be able to get it done here. The Fatorias are not going to pay off in time. They're so expensive.
And Miguel's about to get to Imp in 30 seconds, and that's a bad feeling for Dracken. You can't, like, losing against the guy at the bottom of your group on arguably your best map with a good Civ matchup, it is going to be a tough loss for Dracken, so he's going to keep fighting on here. But what a performance from Miguel. We know he's out of Titans League Season 3. He's going to get relegated. But, I mean, if you're going to go out with a bang.
Yeah.
Like this one, I mean, what a statement from him.
And it's like all the fight we wanted to see from Miguel in the previous games is here. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, it's like he saved it all.
Look at this ram push, dude.
Yeah, it can't be stopped. It cannot be stopped. And Drakken's sitting at 89 pop capture rate, but he's actually at 29 actual population. All of Drakken's pop is in the TC or around the TC in the south. He's pretty much got nothing else.
thumbnailable, this little screen right here.
Yeah, seriously.
Next to the TC. That's all the eco for Dracken. There's nothing left, guys, but he fights on.
I mean, if Dracken fights on, he might be defeated soon.
23 population. But it looks better because he's got 86.
Yeah, I know. Like, you never, in a messy game, it feels unnatural to call the GG when you have around 100 pop. But, I mean, there's a lot of red on screen if you count what was in his old base. Miguel's even looking right now. He's like, where are villagers? Are there villagers on this wood line?
We've gotten to the difficult spot where there's just nothing left to kill. So you don't know where to go. Dracken is still here.
I mean, do you remember, we both remember lots of crazy games that Dracken has had with Vatorius, right?
Yeah.
So he's still like, okay, I've got a resource trickle. My opponent's only making knights. So, you know, remember, with an important game, just give it your best shot. But Miguel's going to just finish him quickly.
He's making a lumber camp.
Hype. Wait, where did he make a lumber camp?
Right next to the Fatoria. He's got one villager chopping away.
And
Miguel
like,
drops 4 siege workshops. He's like, I'm done with this.
Yeah, seriously. And he just continues to dive underneath the TC, and the siege rams are going to ram this down, and Miguel's going to win this series 2-1. You know, in the previous series, Miguel also beat Veleza. So he's gone down here, but he's kind of screwing with everybody else, right? Veleza really wanted that first place, which he could still get, but it's tougher now because Miguel. And Dracken really wanted to survive, and he's going to need wins, I believe, versus Dogal now because of that performance from Miguel. But a pretty ridiculous game. We felt like it would be really tough for the Khmer here, and Miguel just kind of was happy to give up his base and just relocate to Drakken's base and somehow got into a rhythm with the economy.
I wonder if that was like an adaptive play based on his map. Because you look at that wood line on the north side of Miguel's map, and that prevented Dracken from pushing into all that eco at the top there, right? One castle defends that entire area. He abandoned the gold. He kind of went out to the forward gold from Dracken. But I mean, when I said maybe Miguel should FC and castle drop Drakken's base, I was kind of joking, dude. I wasn't actually thinking that he would do it, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was kind of incredible.
Yeah, pretty
really
crazy.
strong.
You know, I wonder, just thinking a little bit more about Drakken's approach now, like, to me, seeing how much damage the Mangonels do versus the Organs, and not even that, how little damage the Organs now do versus the Mangonels. It feels like the all-in organ gun play should just be shut down by the Mangonels, or at the very least, the Portuguese player is going to have to add monks with it to maybe convert the siege.
That was the problem for Dracken. He never had anything other than organs, right? And if there's a defensive castle there and a Mangonel, you can't do anything. So it's almost like Miguel going to the north just kind of nuked that push from the beginning because Dracken had nowhere to place castles that would kick him out of the game.
Yep. And sometimes you just need to make the game messy for your opponent, right? Like, so many people in our game who load up this game on a daily basis, they're getting castle dropped and they just freeze. They don't know what to do. Just YOLO to the other guy's base. See what happens, you know? And maybe it'll play out like this. Miguel collected 52,000 resources, and Dracken only 32,000 resources there. And I'm going to pull up the stats.
I'm looking back at that Coast to Mountain game thinking, like, if Miguel had carried on there and if he had won that, he would still have an outside chance. It's very unlikely, but...
Yeah, seriously. Well, I appreciate, like, it was clear to me, and I'd spoken to Miguel. Honestly, I think a big reason he played this season was because he had said months before he would, and he wanted to respect that. Yeah. So I appreciate Miguel for that, because obviously a big nightmare if players drop out and don't play at all, and I think that's kind of where he was. So 4 wins in this group, still respectable. He's a great talent, and honestly, if Miguel needs like a recharge, right, going down to gold could be really good for him. And next time we have a season, maybe he'll have a bit more motivation and he'll see an opportunity to get back up to plat. But Miguel's out, and now Dracken, he's obviously got a chance for playoffs and then 4th place, but odds are, it looks like Margugu could overtake him. It'll be 2 more sets for Margugu. Margugu, though, has to play ACCM and Dogal.
Yeah.
And then Drakken's final set is against Dogal. So, yeah, I mean, anything could still happen here, to be honest, because Dogal and ACCM, definitely the favorites against Margugu.
Yeah, Margugu has a set in the back pocket though.
Yeah.
Available for him over
And
Draken. So
Margugu took a game off of Leza. I think he could take a game off of Dogao and like a game off of ACCM.
if he takes a game off ACCM and a game off Dogao, he should be okay.
Yeah.
Right? He should be okay. What was the result between Margu and Draken? Did Margugu win that?
Dracken won that 2-1.
Oh, so we... Ooh.
Yeah, which is pretty wild, right?
So he wins the tiebreaker then.
Well, the first tiebreaker is sets 1.
Yeah, but they're both
And then
only
if
at
they're
one set
yeah, they're
one.
they both could be the same, yeah.
So if the most likely combination comes true, right, with Margugu losing 2-1 against ACCM and Dogao against the favorites, he's going to have 6 points.
Yep.
Right? And then Draken
Could win 2-1 versus Dogao, maybe.
Yeah, and then he wins the tiebreaker with 6 points as well.
Would be sick. Yeah, and then like the other things to talk about in this group, of course, Dogao wants first place. That's still possible for him. Same with Veleza ACCM. And anything could really happen there, especially with the final round being ACCM Veleza, which I'm guessing will be winner goes first there, but we don't know just yet because this group's still playing catch up. But a good game to end that series on. I'm glad we didn't end that series with game number 1, where Miguel, just kind of lost faith and gave up.
Or with like a castle drop and then Miguel calls it.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
over, right? So
Yep.
that was really good. Also, like Draken, I think he played really good in that first game. The monasteries coming forward was an excellent decision.
Yep,
Right?
agreed.
Very clearly. And I love the fact that he tried to use the chat trick on Miguel. I love that, dude, because like I said, it's not only playing the game, you got to play the player that you're against, especially in a tournament and a league format like this, right? You got to just try and play the player.
Listen, I didn't know the result of this series before I casted it, but I did know about the chat trick because Miguel was not a fan. Let me just say that. So Miguel was not a fan of it. Draken was like, it was within my opportunity as a player to give it a shot. There's definitely some back and forth there. Everything's all good on it. But yeah, I mean, let me put it to you this way. I have more issue with it if Draken types a sentence and then Miguel resigns, right? Then I'm like, oh God, as an admin, is that actually the game or not? But yeah, I mean, Draken tried his best. And the thing is, and I hope Draken listens to this, Draken, you're a good coast to mountain player, but every game you're falling behind because just lack of scouting. Your openings are solid. If Draken's just scouting a little bit better to know what his opponent's opening, he's not going to lose as many fills, right? And he won that coast to mountain game anyways. So I think Draken has the mindset and the ability to improve and get a surprise win or two versus Dogao. So it'll be fun to watch. But yeah, fun series. I really enjoyed that.